majority of my youth was spent in Virginia. This hamlet of 1,800 people is situated in the middle of America's breadbasket. Virginia has a central square which back then included businesses such as Finney's drugstore with a real old-fashioned soda fountain that made green rivers, lemon blends, and peanut floats, among other tasty drinks. Ben Franklin, the local 5 and Dime, Belton's Clothiers, Friars Appliances, Trenner's Hardware, Pete Viscozzi Company Bank, Joy Theater, 3 taverns, and an RTA. As a Cass County seat, Virginia also has a very old courthouse in the middle of the square. The courthouse is surrounded by a beautiful park, which includes a gazebo large enough to hold the band that played on summer evenings. Every June for many years, the city has hosted the Virginia Barbecue, with the main programs held on the courthouse steps and bandstand. For one weekend, the delicious smell of pork roasting on a spit permeates the square. Virginia was also the backdrop for the adventures of Jay, Chuck, and Tony. We were classmates at the local grade school. With only 50 in our class, there were not enough students to refer to as a junior high. Jay and I met at the local Methodist church. Chuck hooked up with us in the summer when we played baseball in the sandlot behind the church. Every weekend for 3 years, we were inseparable. We rotated locations because it was not fair to subject our antics to one single household. At Jay's house, which was a beautiful old Victorian, we always made pizzas from scratch. His father, who retired early from Ameritech, operated a number of Mr. Softly Soft Serve ice cream trucks. We ate all of the free ice cream that we could handle as a reward for helping to clean the trucks. Chuck's place was a modern ranch that was down the street from the Methodist church. We watched a lot of movies when we weren't sneaking out at night. Chuck had a Pomeranian dog with a peculiar habit. As a puppy, she had a kitten for a friend, and by accident one day, the kitten was killed, right in front of the pup. From then on, whenever the dog heard a cat's meow, she'd howl mournfully. Uncle Herb and Aunt Liz' sprawling farm provided plenty of great adventures for teen boys. We loved to take our BB and pelicans into the barns at night, shooting rats and other pesky critters. While our great adventures would fill volumes, I will only describe a few here. Within a week of forming our trio, we successfully executed our first operation. The target was the magazine rack at the local ITA store. ITA, of course, is short for Independent Grocers Association. One of us was the lookout, another swiped a popular men's magazine, and the third put the money on the counter. We did not steal it, we just weren't old enough to get it. We managed to pull this off in broad daylight on a Saturday morning. While it was a beautifully executed plan, a few of our other antics blew up in our faces. One of the worst happened on a hot summer night during the streaking craze in the early to mid-1970s through the United States. While staying at the farm, we decided it was our turn to let it all hang out. We walked to the end of the lane that emptied into the highway. Taking off our shorts when we saw an oncoming tractor trailer, we would start jogging in the same direction. We always got honks from the startled drivers that enjoyed the break in their boring drive through the prairie of central Illinois. On another summer night, we slept in the tent, my newest birthday present. This became our base of operations. Since it was uncomfortably warm and humid, and the tent's features included a mosquito netting, screen door, and window, I had tied the other flaps in the open position. As we enjoyed our popcorn and sodas while listening to the Beatles, the conversation drifted into observation of some of our female classmates. As future Don Juans, we savored the image created by a gypsy conversation. What we did not know was that my aunt and uncle had opened their bedroom windows and heard every tasty tidbit of information that had streamed out of our lips. For them, we were the entertainment that night. At breakfast the next morning, as we wolfed down our Cheerios in anticipation of a long day of exploration, my aunt turned around and asked us how a certain young lady was. In unison, the cereal exploded out of our mouths, and we rapidly excused ourselves from the table. While staying in Chuck's house, we executed our best prank, which could have easily turned into our greatest disaster. Doc Gooden was one of the finest veterinarians around these parts. He was proud of his family, which included 3 daughters and a son. The Goodens had an intercom system, which constantly monitored the entire house, along with an outside mode that was specifically designed for the purpose. Unfortunately for him, and almost for us as well, was that one of his daughters was our classmate, Kathy. One moonless night, we walked across town to their house. We had a powerful firecracker, I think it was an M80 actually, in our possession. Without hesitation, we lit the fuse and lobbed the cylinder in front of the outside intercom. With perfect timing, the firework exploded and the speaker took the full force of the blast. In the house, it sounded like a bomb had detonated, waking everybody up. Outside, we booked it up, congratulating ourselves on another well-executed prank. Well, as my aunt used to tell us, never count your chickens until they're hatched. Needless to say, we grossly underestimated Doc Gooden's reaction to our little stunt. We stayed together for the first half hour that he chased us all over Virginia. However, since we could not shake him, we finally decided that if we had any hope of escaping, we had to split up. How symbolic a gesture. Thankfully, we were never caught, but that was the last adventure we had together after 3 years